The following broadcast is an alternative video game program. Viewers should prepare themselves for games-related jokes, nonsense and general hijinks.
From the alternative world of video games today, The Mummy theme park ride. Call of Duty goes up against Medal of Honor. Joe Hicks oozes class in our dance championship. And we look back fondly at the Oddworld series. Hello there. I do love fishing. In fact, some of the happiest moments of my life have been spent just standing there with a rod in my hand. I got another letter from a viewer, thanks as always. This one is from David Isaacs from Port Talbot out there in lovely Wales. Dear When Games Attack, I'd like to work on a TV video game show. I know everything about games and I have all my own teeth. What do I do next? Well, David, it's not just about knowledge and teeth. In fact, some of the best programmes on television are made by complete idiots. Have you seen BBC Parliament? Anyway, sometimes death can bring an unexpected smile to people's faces. So let's prepare for some top gallows humour as we look at the top 5 video game ways to die. At number 5, the wonderfully OTT checkout methods of Crash Bandicoot. Now, what makes a classic animated character? It's not frame rate, it's not special moves, it's the willingness to do anything to make us laugh. Even if it does mean suffering a painful death, getting blown into 1,000 gazillion bits by TNT, or flattened by some wacky looking mad scientist, Crash Bandicoot is always up for a laugh, and we thank him because his pain is our laughter. At number 4, the Babality moves in Ultimate Mortal Kombat 3. Looking back, this whole Mortal Kombat fatality moves controversy was totally unjustified. Parents should instead have been suing anybody with a joypad over the Babality ones. Just a few nifty taps of the buttons and your opponent would be reduced to their infant self. Okay, so they're not technically dead, but they are going to be wearing nappies for the rest of their lives, eating mush and mucking up your best sofas, a prospect that should disturb you far more than being killed. Join us later in the show to find out what the numbers 3 and 2 best gaming deaths are. The good news is, I have caught something. The bad news is, it's the back of my skull. They say that when the going gets tough, the tough go fishing. But I want to let you into a secret. I'm not tough at all. In fact, I cried when Ares died in Final Fantasy VII. Some more secrets revealed now in today's Behind the Game. In 1997, Oddworld inhabitants released Oddworld Abe's Odyssey. Formed by the surprisingly good-looking ex-special effects painter Lorne Lanning and movie producer Sherry McKenna, they set out to tell a different kind of story.
The original concept was that we wanted to birth a universe, and that's how Abe began. And he was the meat processing employee of the year, at the slaughterhouse of Rupture Farms. And with Abe, he thought he had a great job, but he found out that the retirement plan was a lie.
Choosing a 2D perspective, the game tasked you with saving your race from becoming snack food and delivering them from slavery. Not bad for a little mutant in a dirty loincloth. Abe's Odyssey was the first of a planned Oddworld quintology. That means 5. I know, you were wondering.
And Abe introduced, I think, a new type of character to gaming, one that was more empathetically driven, and the empathy as a model was something that didn't really jive with gameplay mechanics. And so we created things like GameSpeak, and those things brought voices that had meaning in games.
Yes, in Oddworld, you actually had to talk your way through puzzles and situations. Sometimes you even had to fart. That was worth waiting for. But as novel as the game may have been, it turned out to be much, much harder to make than they ever could have realised.
It was just a horrendous experience, you know. It was one of the worst things we ever did in our lives. You see all these gray hairs, they came in at an accelerated rate, the way that game affected my life. You know, but it was a huge learning experience because in many ways I was ignorant about building games.
This guy's so cool. But the challenges have paid off and Oddworld has now made them both rich beyond their wildest dreams.
We trawl through tabloids and men's lifestyle mags in search of the hottest ladies to stage our very own Top Totty dance-off. Marsh, Pinder, Pearson, Hicks and Downs. Held over the series, 5 gorgeous girls battle it out to see who has the moves to match their curves.
Well, the table is the only part of this section that looks dull. Katie Downs at the top with 303.635. That's because she's the only one who's played.
Yeah, it is. It's Mr. Diamond's Lover Room again. That means it's time for our second trip to our special dancing competition. Basically, the deal is we have a very attractive woman. In this case, it's pastry legend Jo Hicks. Jo, welcome.
Thank you.
When I see women like you, the first question I like to ask is, do you have a boyfriend?
I certainly do.
Okay. Would you like to sum him up in 3 words?
Exciting.
Uh-huh.
Long term.
Making that quite clear. And I thought, well, I suppose that long term, yeah, exciting long term. So as far as this goes, have you ever had a go at one of these dancing machines?
I haven't. This is my first time.
Okay.
Yeah.
How do you move generally?
I'd say I'm quite a good mover.
Yeah. Yeah, well, I think it's up to you as the glamour legend that you are to try and show, you know, some of these other girls a thing or two. Personally speaking, I have obviously followed your career very, very, very closely from a very early age. In fact, you're responsible for wallpapering my entire bathroom.
Oh, no.
I think at one stage. So, have you been doing any special training? Have you stretched off? Have you limbered up?
I have. I've done my stretches, and I'm ready to rock and roll. So.
And let's talk about the outfit that you've chosen for today.
Just a little red number I thought I'd wear, you know.
Can you move freely?
Very freely.
Okay, fantastic.
You'll be
Well,
happy
I'm going to find out exactly how freely Jo can move in this outfit while we'll go to a break.
But before we go, let's find out which games are at spots 2 and 3 of our top 5 ways to die in games. At number 3, it's Drowning Mario in Super Mario 64. If there are any small children in the room, you might want to get them out because this is pretty disturbing. If Mario's held underwater for too long, he runs out of air and drowns in a frighteningly realistic way. It's all about contrast. In the context of an otherwise super cutesy game, Mario's death by water strikes a chilling note. See him struggle impotently for the air that's so far beyond reach. See his body racked by spasms as his plumber lungs fill with water. And see his limp corpse float like a rag doll with a moustache. Blasting in at number 2, it's pressing the self-destruct button in Lemmings. Back in the day, the task of escorting these dumb lemmings to their home reduced every sane gamer to dribbling wrecks. Now, developer Psygnosis knew you fantasised about killing the buggers, so they granted your wish and gave you a kill switch. 1 click, and a 5-second timer would appear above all of the lemmings' heads. Of course, the game would be over, but being able to quit like this never made you feel like a loser. You felt real power. Join us in part 2 when we'll be revealing the number 1 best gaming death. Coming up in the alternative video game show, why see the movie when you can go on the ride? 2 World War II shooters go head to head, and the best gaming death ever. But first, time to join Stevie Morgan for our Dance Stage Championship as glamour legend Jo Hicks prepares to show the kids how it's really done.
Thank you, Dominic, and it's the lovely Jo Hicks here, who's adopted a barefoot approach to this dance challenge. We tried to convince her to take off more items of clothing, but I can tell you folks, she was having none of it. In fact, I'm still heavily bruised from asking her. But she seems to be enjoying herself, and that, of course, is what it's all about. That, and of course, making sure that your foot is on the corresponding arrow as it highlights on that screen in front of you. She's getting a few boos. And it seems to be going all wrong for her right now. Points are rewarded for each one she steps on correctly. And when it comes down to points, I'd certainly give her 1. Now, we know that this is a talented lady. She can sing, dance, certainly, and act. And I think it's fair to say that big things are in front of her. But it's all down to how she tackles this dance challenge right now. There's the odd perfect, a great, but still the boos are raining down on her. It's all about the rhythm method, I'm afraid, folks, and fitness, because if you pull anything, it can be quite nasty. I should know. But she's only got a few moments left here on the dance challenge. Can she round off to a grand finale?
You seem not to be in good shape.
No.
Game over.
Hixie, are you tired after that?
I need to go to the gym
you?
urgently after that.
You need a towel, man. You know, fan you a little bit.
Oh, please.
I'll get you juice and everything. I'm not going to interfere with your boyfriend, obviously, because it's long term.
Nice.
You know. But 126,605 points, I think you did. It was. I mean, the start was good. It's just one of those things that if you
if
goes
you
pretty
concentrate
fast.
too much,
Yeah.
it's all over.
I thought you moved terrifically though.
Thank you.
And you went for the barefoot
I
method
know,
actually
I
there.
did,
Yeah,
yeah.
interesting. Was there any slippage at all?
There was slightly. I think if I'd done the trainer thing,
Yeah.
it would have worked a bit better, but...
See, I tend to do it barefoot, but sadly I have calluses that are like Velcro.
Oh.
Yeah, I know. It's not terribly nice. It's a little bit of dry skin problem there that we don't need to... I should have said that to you. I was doing really well.
Attractive.
I know. Well, you have a long-term boyfriend anyway, so what was the point in trying, really? But listen, thank you very much indeed for coming
Thank
on, Joe.
you.
If we take a look at the leaderboard, we can see that you are in second place.
Fantastic.
That's the good news. The bad news is we've only had 2 people. But, you know, 126,000 points, you know, plus.
You never know.
You never know. There could be some kind of drug test on one of their competitors. There could be a
Thanks,
little,
thanks.
you know, there could be a, you know, the Chinese could complain, like the gymnastics. It could all be. A lot of things can happen, Joe.
Yeah, I know.
Do you know what I mean? Let's just stand here. That's beautiful. Okay. Oh, I know it's probably a couple of weeks away, but personally, I can't wait until the next time we have our little dance challenge.
One says black, the other says white. One says left, the other says right. They never can agree. The Xbox plays 50-50. Time to cook their fuse to their ass. Queenie and Cuddly head-to-head.
Hello viewers, welcome to another head-to-head with me and Cuddly and Queenie. Once more with 2 games today, and we'll be... What are you dressed like this for? You want to be Bloods and Crips? You want to go and bust a cap in some homie's ass? You can go to prison for something like that. That's a small price to pay for the ensuing rap career. We'll talk about this later. Word. Go and get your boxes. Today we're looking at games that use the horror of war for pointless entertainment. Cuddly has got Medal of Honor Rising Sun and Queenie's going for Call of Duty. Round 1. Graphics.
Call of Duty's visuals are simply stunning. Each environment looks realistically war-torn. Character detail is top-notch, and effects like explosions and machine gun fire are fantastically animated. Fans believe Medal of Honor Rising Sun's visual style holds its own against its rival. The environments are painted with dark brooding colours designed to create an appropriately foreboding atmosphere. But which shooter do you prefer the look of? In our survey of 100 gamers, 64% said Call of Duty's graphics were better. Call of Duty takes round 1. 2 rounds to go.
Congratulations, Queenie! Call of Duty manages to exploit the slaughter of an entire generation in slightly more graphical detail than Medal of Honor. They must be very proud. Round 2. Verisimilitude. Well, it means... what's the point? Lifespan.
Call of Duty's internet option ensures continual play. Games such as Headquarters, in which opposing teams must battle for a set time over a randomly selected location, keep the adrenaline pumping. Medal of Honor Rising Sun also has an excellent multiplayer mode. Gamers can opt for split-screen combat or go online and experience action-packed single or team deathmatches over 9 exciting maps. But which keeps you playing longer? 64% said Call of Duty had the longer lifespan. Call of Duty takes the second round. One more to go.
Well, it's over after only the second category. Queenie, you've got an unassailable 2-0 lead. Could be 3. Either way, we know one thing, Cuddly. You're getting the forfeit. Hey! Round 3. Gameplay.
Call of Duty tries hard to capture the experience of being in a battle. The frantic firefights and the disorientating shell shock effect bring a frightening level of realism, whilst the advanced AI makes your computer-controlled teammates support your actions effectively. Fans play Rising Sun for its exciting set pieces like the attack on Pearl Harbor. Here you must race through your sinking battleship and man a gun turret against wave upon wave of Japanese aircraft. And that's just the first level. But which game offers the more compelling experience? 57% of those surveyed said Call of Duty had the better gameplay. Call of Duty wins the third round and becomes our overall winner 3 rounds to 0.
The thing is, that's a clean sweep today, isn't it? So that normally means the forfeit's pretty bad. The kind of forfeit that comes out of nowhere. The kind you just don't see coming.
Join us next time for another head-to-head. Now it's time to reveal the #1 best gaming death. But first, here's a reminder of those other honourable few. At number 5, it's Crash's Cartoon Suffering. At number 4, Baby Drooling in Ultimate Mortal Kombat 3. At number 3, Mario Sleeps with the Fishes in Super Mario 64. And at number 2, Mass Suicide Lemmings. But the #1 best gaming death of all time is Bovine Bombing in Earthworm Jim. A classic game of the 90s, Earthworm Jim holds host to the most original, ingenious and downright fun death in game history. Early in your quest to save Princess What's-Her-Name, you inexplicably launch a cow into the sky. Then, at the end of the game, when she's ready to receive her dashing knight, the cow appears from nowhere and flattens her dead. And that's it! No kissing, no riding off into the sunset together, just a big cow on your bird's head. Tradition has been thwarted. Thanks, Jim.
The Americans have given us many things. Fast food, cosmetic surgery, and global bullying on a massive military scale. Well, it's time to take the fight back to them. So here's me, over there, for today's feature. Come on, Trouty Trout. Come on.
One of the advantages of being Dominic Diamond is that you don't have to queue with the rest of the suckers. You get to walk through Universal on your own like royalty. The reason they're being made to wait is basically so I can indulge myself at my leisure on the brand new spanking ride that they've got here at Universal, The Revenge of the Mummy. It seems that in Hollywood, the brutal realities of fashion apply to imaginary creatures just as much as the real ones. The new Mummy ride has taken the place of the old E.T. attraction, which can now be found begging for pennies downtown. As you'd expect from Universal, the new ride is a heady mix of roller coaster, cutting-edge animatronics, state-of-the-art CGI and practical effects. The computer even generated some stereotypically bearded engineer bloke to have a chat with me about the whole thing. He was very realistic. So Mark, was there ever any question that a ride would be made out of the Mummy movie franchise?
Probably not so much a question of yes or no, but a question of when.
Yeah.
We started thinking about it almost immediately after the films were a big success, and we were happy to bring them out when we did.
Mm-hmm. So then, You're starting there, you've got your blank bit of paper for your ideas then. What was your first thought of what you wanted to make the ride like?
Well, the first thing we wanted to do was we wanted to try and take the guests and immerse them in the world of the Mummy, the world that they had seen in the movies. We started to think, how can we do that? How can we bring them into this world and scare the socks off of them? We are using a relatively new technology here called linear induction. Traditionally, you take a chain drive and you pull a coaster up a hill and then drop it. This system that we have allows us to accelerate and decelerate the coaster, which gives you a pretty thrilling adventure.
Yeah, and it means also you don't get that sound when the chain's pulling the roller coaster up. It sounds like it's going to snap at any minute.
We have no clack, 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 clack. No clack, clacks.
As you can see from the word there, warning, unauthorised access is forbidden. It's the control room. Not supposed to be in here. Now, in a lot of places like this, you have all your security screens, so they can check for safety and see if anyone's in any trouble, anyone's up to any hijinks. That's not what this is used for. It's just because this guy here is very nosy, and he's just checking out the chicks. That's what this is, chick cams. He knows it, you know. And sometimes, like that'll control the different cameras. That panel there, that I think that makes the coffee on that one. And this, sometimes you'll have Quake running on a server, and he'll be playing that. Sometimes Pac-Man, if he wants to be a little bit old school.
Having charmed everyone with my hilariously raucous antics, it felt only right that I should make their day by having a go on the ride. Okay, here we go. I have actually decided to allow a few other people on, but only because they're all orphans. Here we go. Were you scared at all?
No.
A little bit.
Yes, I was. This is like our 500th time.
Do you need to change your underpants?
I don't think so. Not addressed it.
Did any of you soil your trousers?
No,
with fear?
we're good.
You mind if I check? Just have a check, sir. You have? You've got a big stain. I thought the ride was it was slightly frightening, it was short, and it was intense, which ironically enough is just like my own mummy. Well, that's all today from me and my tiny tiddler. Until the next one, Games Attack, goodbye.